G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. Look, up here in Bundaberg, pardon me, still got the bloody dog's disease. Up here in Bundaberg it's 15 to 25. The last couple of days it's been overcast with, look, the very odd shower, but down south of Queensland, like North New South Wales, right down through Sydney and all that, boy, they're copping a caning with the rain at the moment. So I was just watching the weather on the news on the telly this morning while I was having breakfast, and yeah, they're copping a hiding. I think Jeff Parsons, he's what did you have, Jeff? 165, then 57 or something or other. So that's a lot of rain, isn't it? Yeah, in a day, and yeah, so yeah, you're gonna have to stay in the shed and work on your tractors, Jeff. Just hang in there. We have it overcast here. Like, we had a couple of lovely sunny days, but at the moment it must just be on the edge of it, you know, just a cloud on the edge. But it is still a little bit humid. But look, all in all, it's not too bad. Pretty good working weather. The stew today is it's late. It's Wednesday. There's a reason for that, and yeah, yesterday the wheels fell off. The wheels fell off everything pretty well, but that's all right. Judy and I both still have this bloody flu. Look, we're up and about and everything, but it's one of these things that sticks on your chest, and yeah, you hop up of a night and you're coughing away, and of a morning you've got to have a big cough and a spit and a clean out to get yourself going for the day. But it's still there. Yeah, we haven't cleared ourselves of it yet. But anyway, it's yeah, we're not too bad, but we're not 100% either. Pardon me. Yeah, yesterday I was going to do the stew, and I had my mate Paulie Irwin. He's a fellow who had the little Austin here, and when we're having our vintage machinery rally on 8th and 9th of August this year, the council told us where we have the tractor pull, we got to tidy up after ourselves, and then when we go down the bottom and do some ploughing, we've got to level the side out nicely afterwards, so that when the council blokes come along to mow, they're not going over ploughed ground. You know, we have to level it out nicely for them and make a nice garden bed sort of thing, so the grass can grow back, and we can have a go next year. So in rallies past, Paul's used his little TED 20 with he's got a back blade on it with a rear depth wheel, and he just, you know, up and down near the tractor pull there, he just flattens it out, you know, where they get the humps and hollers, and I've asked him what he do down near the ploughing too, and he said, well, yeah, he's happy to help, but he said the hydraulics on his little TED 20 they sort of lift okay cold, but when they're hot, he said they're flat out lifting anything, so they're just dropping their bundles. So any chance we could have a look at that before the rally? So I said, yeah, no worries, bring it over. So I've got Paul's tractor in the bay here, all pulled apart, and you know, we've got the lift cylinder here and the main piston and the quadrant. Someone had a hunk of rubber in the quadrant there, so we're going to put the proper disc in there for him. And but yeah, we're just going to run through the lift cover, and he's got the hydraulic pump. The hydraulic pump, he's just washed that over in the parts washer there, so I'll probably pull that apart this morning. Pardon me. And then put an order in with Queensland Tractor Spares for the bits for him. But yeah, we're just going to try and get his hydraulics working a little bit better. The tractor hadn't been apart in years and years, and they're very dirty inside TE20s when you pull the pumps out. So anyway, that's what I'm just doing for Paul. He's helping me out, so I'm helping him out. But yesterday morning I come up to do the stew, and the SD cards that go in the sound recorder and the camera, I left them up at the house, and I thought, oh, not to worry, I'll go and get them. So I hopped on my treadly and off I went to get them. And before that, I brought them back again, but before that, when I jumped in the ute to bring the ute up to the shed, I gave myself a fright. I have tyre pressure sensors on my tyres, and there's a thing on the dash. Well, it started beeping, and it said the front left-hand tyre was flat. So I had a look at it, and I thought, oh, it doesn't look too flat, but it had gone from 45 to 30 overnight. So I pulled it up out the front here, And I told Paul I'd get up the shed about 8 a.m. Like, we're trying to get into this retired thing and sit around and, you know, have a cuppa and just have easy starts for the day. You know, come up to the shed at 8, not 6 o'clock like I've done for years. So, and anyway, with the duller weather, that was no worries. Did that, and then I got the ute up the front here, and I couldn't see anything wrong with the tyre, but the pressure was certainly down. So I went to grab the air jack, the Vivor air jack that they got me to test years ago, and I still use it around the place. Like, it's a bloody great jack. It's so quick, you can just wheel it under something and up and down, and yeah, you're not. It's got good extension too, so you're not looking for blocks of wood and all that normally. So anyway, so gets the jack out, wheels it under the car out there, and hits the air up, hits her up, nothing. I thought, what the bloody hell? And I'd looked down the tap and there was nothing down, you know, no mud daubers down the tap, but at some stage I must have left the tap open because I had to pull the whole valve chest apart, all the taps out, run wire through them, and yeah, there was bloody mud and dirt in there from the little mud daubers must have got in and around the corner. So anyway, I got that sorted out. Had to pull the whole valve assembly apart to get the jack working so I could lift the bloody ute up and spin the tyre, and it took me a while to find, and what had happened is the day before I'd been into Bunnings, and there was a little self-drilling screw had gone into the tyre. Look, I'm not sure how long it had been there because the head wasn't there anymore, but the self-tapper bit, and you know, I had an O-ring pick and I was just picking any rocks that were stuck in the tread out, and yeah, I come across this other little one, but I got him out, and I've put one of those four-wheel drive plugs in it to stop it leaking. So so by that time Paul had turned up. I still hadn't done the stew. I had the cards over here, but I still hadn't done the stew. I recorded the stew. And Paul was here, and I thought, oh, well, we better hop into the tractor then. So we hopped into the tractor and got stuck into that. Then while he was pulling off some parts on the tractor there, I gave him, you know, undo this and that and that and that, and off I went. And then out the back door here, I've got the boards for the carryall for the Massey Ferguson 135. And with the club rally coming up, I'm repainting the carryall and getting the boards and all done to bolt together so I can put like Corflue signs on it, and I'm going to park it around town in a few places from time to time. And yeah, just park the tractor there. It's fully registered, so I'm allowed to park it where I like, and within reason. And so I'm just getting that organised so we can put a couple of banners around the place and things like that, just to advertise our rally, because our rally, we got no trouble, we believe, putting on a rally and getting exhibitors to come and show their wares, but we got to get it out there to the public, and that's going to be our big job. So we've got 20 Corflue signs. I've sent one out to Tony's place out on Moore Park Road. I've sent one to Laurie's place on Belongi Road. Dean, that bought Queensland Tractor Spares office, he lives near the Gregory River out on the road to Childers, you know, between Bundaberg and Appletree Creek. So he's got a banner up there, and he's going to put his AM7D out there to draw attention to the sign. Nev Cayley, he's got a block right on the main road at Alloway, so we're going to put a banner at his place. And there's another couple of places we're looking at. We haven't got approval yet, but we're looking at to get the banners out. So with the 135, I thought I'll tidy the carry-all up, put a dose of paint on it. I've had the pine boards up there for ages, and it's that long since I painted the carry-all, I never got it put together. I'm going to give it a light sand and another bit of a blow over the top just to make it look presentable. And so while Paul was pulling his tractor apart yesterday, I'll run out the back and I put the second coat on the boards out the back there, and I thought I'd probably get on the forklift and sand the carry-all frame. And see, the deal was I'd help Paul, but he'll do a fair bit of the work. When it gets technical, I'll take over, but just pulling the pump out and the PDO shaft out and all that, well, that was, you know, Paul was going to do that. And then yesterday morning, opening the shed door, I'm pushing on the bloody thing and I was bloody losing traction. I couldn't get the bastard of a thing open properly, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I forced it, you know, I got a bit of a run up and boom and pushed it up, and carried on, but I thought, I better have a look at what's going on with this door. And what had happened is up on the top, it's got like little carriers that the door hangs on, and it's 4 wheels with a big bolt coming down, and the door actually hangs on that, and it stops it from dragging on the concrete down the bottom. Well, what had happened, unbeknown to me, was where the rail is in 2 big, look, they're probably 6 metre lengths, I suppose, and the one at this end must have got out of whack a bit and had slid, and there was a gap so big. And when I'd opened the doors, the wheels had fallen down, and so the first door wasn't suspended in the track, it was just on the concrete. Me and Paul, we couldn't move the bloody thing. I thought, Christ, what are we going to do here? So anyway, while Paul was here, I thought, right, well, put a pallet on the forklift there, and I'll get Paul to lift me up and work out what was going on. And that's how we found that the track had separated up the top there. So I had to pull the rollers out, then get them back in the track, then jack the door up and screw them up and lock them up there to support the door. And then once we got the door supported on the 4 sets of rollers, well, we had to go outside then and lift me up near the gutter and knock the rail back in, the support rail at the top, and we've got that knocked right in together now, and the door's sort of opened pretty well. But I think the first bit of door, I think we need to lift it up yet. So perhaps when he comes out in the days, I think he's coming out again tomorrow, we might readjust that. And where that track comes out, I'm going to drill a little hole in there and put a screw in there, because it's got a stopper for the wheels way before the last bracket. So I should be able to put a bolt in the last bracket there to stop it ever moving again. It's never done it in the past, and we built the shed in the year 2000, so it's lasted 25 years. But yeah, this bloody track just moved out and the wheels fell down. So that was a drama. So I was glad to have Paul here yesterday, just to sort all that out. But then, so by the time we did that and pulled his tractor apart and got ready to order some parts and things like that, it was well after 3 o'clock. And with this bloody WOG, this flu, influenza, dog's disease, whatever it is, rabies, sometimes of an afternoon about 4 o'clock, when the cold air comes in, you start feeling like shit again. And we had to go and pick up the kids yesterday, and by the time we got about 3:30, I was feeling crap. So I went up the house and had a couple of red wines to see if that'd help. Pepper Jack, oh, good stuff. Pepper Jack Cab Sav or Pepper Jack Shiraz, bloody good stuff. But look, I had 2 glasses of wine before dinner and had something to eat for dinner. Jude's having a fad at the moment with these baked potatoes in the air fryer, and they're bloody good chewing. Just gets baked potatoes and pricks them and all that and puts them in the air fryer, and then opens them up and puts butter in them and shit like that. They're bloody good. So I had a couple of spuds, and I was in bed before 7. So I think about 6:40, I said to Jude, look, I'm just going to bed. I'm feeling bloody terrible again. And slept right through. Had to hop up to go to the toilet a couple of times through the night, but slept right through and didn't get out of bed till after 7 o'clock this morning, and just slept. So, but I'm feeling fine today. I'm up and firing today. So see how we go. But yeah, so I thought I'd better get the stew done first up this morning, because the way the wheels fell off the whole day yesterday, I thought I'd better jump in and have a crack. So I'll get the stew done. I'll probably get up there and do it. And I have got some office work to do, and I've got to order some parts for Paul for this T20 job and things like that. But I thought I'd come and get the stew done first, then I can edit the stew, then while it's uploading, I can hop on and finish these emails and things like that I'm getting a bit behind with the office work. But yeah, I was sitting there looking at it and I'm thinking, up this shit, and I can just go to the shed and bug around up there. So, that's about what's been happening. We went to the car show on Saturday. I took the 135 up. That was the easy one to get out. And look, we had a great club display, club day there. We probably had 20 engines, and I think we had 16, 17 tractors, something like that. Yeah, I've been looking at photos and there's 5 along here and 5 there and 3 there, so I think probably 16 maybe. But the rally's coming up, the young fellas are getting excited. Everyone I'm talking to is saying there's a good feel in the club at the moment, and we're all working together. I'm pushing people for jobs and everyone's hopping in and helping along, and it's going well. We're looking for a few more market stall holders for the rally. We could do with a bit more of that, so the ladies have got something to look at while the old fellas are buggering around with their tractors. We've sent out a heap of forms for exhibitor registrations and trade site registrations. If you want one, email me, I'll send you one, bundybearsshed@gmail.com. Yeah, we've got the free camping now and all that sort of stuff organised, but if you're from another area, the Harry Ferguson Tractor Club of Australia, they're using our rally as the Queensland get together for 2025. So we're going to try and line a heap of Fergies up, and yeah, I'll see what I can take. I think I've got 7 running tractors I can take in, so we'll do that. Kempies are bringing 4 or 5. Anyway, Kempies are bringing quite a few over, which is quite an effort for them because they live 2 hours away. And Tim Preby, he's got bulldogs and field marshals. Talking to him Saturday night after the show in town, he's good for 7 tractors. So between the 3 of us, we can almost get up to 20 tractors just with 3 members. And yeah, like Ronnie in the club's got 2, and Greg's got 1, and Laurie's got a couple. And so by the time we all just take our tractors, just a few of the tractor blokes in the club, we'll have a pretty good run. Not this week we're in now, but next week's the Bundaberg show. So Tuesday's set up for the show, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the show days. And look, it's mainly an engine show. There's a bit of room for tractors, but in the past the engine blokes haven't wanted the tractors in their compound because they're taking up room and the tractors have got to go over behind the sugarcane, so that'll be okay. We're having trouble with some of the show societies. Well, we're not having trouble, it's our fault, it's the club's fault, but when Nevy was running the show, all the contacts for all the show societies, instead of going to rcvmc@yahoo.com.au, that's the club email address. So RC, Rum City Vintage Machinery Club, so rcvmc@yahoo.com.au. Instead of that, everything had to go to his personal address. And the point of contact was his personal phone number and things like that. Now he's not president. A couple of the show societies have been saying, we've been trying to get onto you, but they're not getting an answer back. So we're contacting all the show societies that we know of that we like to show at, and we're getting them to send the emails to the club email address, and they can still have, say, my mobile number on them or Alan's mobile number on them, but when they're sending us emails saying, would we like to go to the show and do we still want the same area as last year? Well, if I haven't seen the email, Alan, the secretary, will have seen it, and we'll bring it to each other's attention. But these blokes have got to run the show and everything's got to go into their personal stuff and they'll decide what people see. This is the trouble that gives you down the track a bit, so you don't need that. So yeah, we're getting that sorted out. The Childers show is on this coming weekend. We have members going there. I'm not going to go. I'm just going to have a bit of a break if I can and try and catch up and get over this this disease, whatever it is. But and Jono, a member of the club, he was foundation member of the club when we started it back in 2011. He had a sign in his shed still from back on a rally we had in 2018, and he gave that to me the other day, so I whizzed it round the sign place and got him to change the date on it. It cost me $30 folding notes, so that worked out all right. And so I just put that on the ute the other day, just so when I'm putting around town, there's a mobile ad for our rally coming up. But for the moment, yeah, I'm just going to try and get this carry-all finished. I've got a A-frame sign that used to be an old PDO stand, an old Bearco one that I've had at home here, and so it's a nice solid frame with a support down the bottom. So I'm going to put a couple of the Corflue signs on that. So when we go to the show next week, we can have a Corflue sign. We can have this A-frame sitting out the front of our display promoting our rally. And wherever we go, if we go to some little show or display or something, we can just pop that up and it's there. We haven't got to tie it to the fence and all that sort of thing. So I want to finish that off today too, if I can. Mainly if I can get a nicer coat of grey on the carryall and let it dry overnight, tomorrow I can probably put the boards on, and I may look at, instead of just the A-frame on the carryall, I may look at putting a frame up the back, so when I'm driving down the road with it, I haven't got to worry about tipping over or anything like that. So we're looking at things like that to do for the club. So anyway, we'll see. But look, that's about it. I haven't done any more on the pump just at the moment. I've been just getting ready for rallies, getting ready for shows, and I finally got all the show stuff cleaned up and sent back over to the shipping container. So we're okay there. Paul's tractor, we spent a fair bit of the day on that yesterday, apart from everything else that buggered up on us yesterday. So we haven't got a lot. I'll take you for a little walk around. I'll show you the new signs. I'll show you the sign on my ute and what I'm up to. We'll do a quick little walk around. But as for major projects happening, I've just been in repair and recovery mode. Last week after the flu, not much happened up the shed, I tell you. I come up here a few times later in the week, and I spent most of the time just laying back in my chair looking out the door. I certainly wasn't a ball of energy. Saturday, we went to the show, like I said, but I wasn't sparking 100%. I was still going okay. I was good enough to be there and probably not be contagious, but it was just one of those things that, just felt like shit all week, so nothing happened. So, but anyway, look, I'll take you for a quick walk around the place to have a look at what I've been up to, just so you know I haven't been completely sitting on my arse. Thanks for dropping by, We'll catch you all next week. Okay, here we are out the back, and you can see the pine boards. Look, it's just cheap pine from Bunnings. I did look at making it out of like Tasmanian oak, but it was quite a few $100s, and I got tight-assed, which doesn't happen to me often, but anyway. So that's a clear gloss outdoor epoxy, and it's only pine, so I'm not expecting it to last a million years, but as long as it's tidy enough for when the tractor's hanging around the place. The little TE20 here, I've been driving that around a little bit. God, it runs like a top, that thing. And look, for those interested, there's a bit of discussion. The Chinese TEA20 carby, so that's the Zenith 24T knockoff. It's still going like a beauty, Like, I've just got to turn the key on. Like, I haven't even got the fuel turned off. I don't turn the fuel off on it. There's no need. And I just turn the key on, hit the bloody starter, and boom, away she goes, and runs beautifully. So if you're thinking of buying one, don't be shy. If you had a choice between this and a Bearco carby, buy this. I've never been keen on the Bearco ones. Sparex have a good Zenith 24T, a proper Zenith, but look, they've nearly priced themselves out of the market. They're bloody expensive, and my experience with this little carby has been great. So so if you're thinking about it, don't be shy. I was talking to Dean about stocking them, but I'll follow up on that. We'll come over through here. I'll just go around. Floor's still good, fellas. This is all Dean's stuff over here. Both these shafts have broken bolts in them at that end. We had to cut the main adjuster off, where you adjust the big spring here. We had to cut that off because it wasn't moving. The piece at the end that holds the felt, like there's a little felt and that's got a cup on it, that's broken. The gap in the piston rings is about 25 thou, and we were looking at putting a full O-ring, but we've honed the bore, but it's still got a couple of lines up it, and I think if we fit an O-ring to that, it'll chop the O-ring out quickly, so we don't want that. So we'll come around. Look how nice this floor is. Until you get up here. Paul's telling me, he says, everywhere I go I make a bloody mess. But God, look how bright that sun is. But yeah, inside these housings, boy, they get dirty. So yeah, we've got it gutted. Everything's out at the moment. There's a control valve. You can't see what I'm showing you there, so it doesn't matter. Here's the carry-all frame that I hope to get a bit of grey on today. And this is the old Bearco stand. Now, I had to shift this sign off it yesterday, but what the plan is, if I can sit that there, what the plan is to have that A-frame there. Oh, there's a sign I made last week while I was feeling crook for the 135 as a display. Did it on the CNC router. I got that working again. But yeah, that's the sign for the rally. I have a box of 20 of those. So yeah, I'm going to screw that to that A-frame and we can take it to the shows. We can come out here. Oh, that's what I did, mowed the lawn. Mower's still sitting there. I mowed all up the back here. I've got to mow all the front yet. Just haven't had time. Might be an afternoon job. And yeah, there's the sign on the back of my ute. Yeah, Jono had that from years gone by, and I just got the Bundaberg Recreational Precinct 9th and 10th of August 2025 put onto the old sign. So that sort of brings attention to things a little bit on the cruiser. So that's okay, yeah. And the air jack's still sitting out here where I had it yesterday. I got to put it away. But yeah, we ended up way up there fixing bloody doors. So anyway, I had a bloody sore legs when I finished. But everything's just getting chucked on that bench just at the moment. So that's the dirtiest area in the place. When the light adjusts and we come up through here, yeah, look, we're still going okay here. So, all in all, we're going good. Yeah, I've used a little bit of CRC this week. I actually gave one of the old blokes, I gave him a gel tack. Now, this is a synthetic lubricant. It's for chains and things like that. And I used that on my old United engine out at Mundubbera. And it sticks to the gears and doesn't disappear on you, so good thing. But what it didn't do, there was a little oil hole where the gear rotates on the shaft. It didn't get into there. I had to oil that separately. But yeah, that gel tack, it's a fairly new thing, and yeah, look it up on the CRC site. It's got a heap of info for you. All the rest is just that's what I've got to do after I finish editing the stew. All right, we'll catch you later, eh? See ya.